questioned a lot. Like, he questioned your parenting, like, ability. And sometimes you think about, man, am I a good parent?
Oh, yeah. Do you guys have those moments?
Oh, yeah. All the time. All the time.
Are you guys perfect parents?
Emotional dad. Yes. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, like when
I'm like, how does this pertain to dance again? Why are we talking about this?
I know, 'cause,
oh my god.
you know, we try our best to be parents, but then you can't help. But
Yeah.
sometimes the emotions do show up, and then I'm like, fuck, man, I feel like a shit. I guess I'm putting money in this therapy jar or something.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, we all, though. I think that's just parenthood, and our generation, we're breaking. Like, parenting back in the day, our parents, it was traditional to get the switch and spank and do all these things that now, growing up, we consider as, like, excessive use of force. And if we were to do it, it could be seen as something very negative. So we've created these new ways and methods of parenting that involve us feeling very guilty at the slightest thing. Something we feel guilty over doing that we feel like we're hurting our children over, our parents would be looking at us like,
like what the
excuse
fuck?
you. You basically gave them a hug. Like, oh, that was nothing. So, yeah, I try to give myself grace, a lot of grace in parenting. And the one thing I tell myself is just apologize. Like, that's the thing. If I make sure, if I have an outburst or anything, I communicate that I understand what I did was wrong, and that teaches her, number one, that I also know, and I'm holding myself accountable to do the right thing. It teaches her accountability too, and when to recognize and speak up when you've, done something that is outside of your morals and parenting code and all of that.
Yeah, like especially saying sorry and then hearing them just like, it's okay. And they forgive you and all that stuff. And also, like, I don't mind doing it because it's like, it shows him that I make mistakes too. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to put this facade of like, I'm dad that knows everything. Like, I fuck up.
We have like built-in mini therapists because just like that, and that's what makes me feel good. She'll look at me and she'll be like, it's okay, Mom. Everyone gets angry sometimes. Everyone gets upset sometimes. And she she knows it's not an excuse, and she will be quick to remind me or her dad, you need to relax. She will say that so much. Like, she's like, you need to calm down, especially if we're like driving and there's traffic, road rage. She's like, you need to calm down. You need to take a breath. You need to relax. And it's like, you're right. And I do it though. My thing is I do it immediately. So she feels like she's got some control in the situation too. There's not like an adult that's just like raging, and the kids now got to go move themselves out of the situation. It's like if we catch ourselves off guard and she acknowledges it, we cut it out quickly. Yeah. It's like, okay, if the kids got to say something,
it's crazy when the kids spit back what you teach them. Like, shit, I taught you that.
Yeah. Like, dang, I did this to myself. Yeah. All right.
I found myself, I always question if I'm a good parent, or not all the time, but but know that it is a good reminder that I am doing something right, because she's still polite, she's so sweet, not because I make her, or she's sweet out of fear. I think I'm proud of myself for that, because I remember growing up, I guess most of us growing up, we're used to behaving because we're scared of our parents, or oh, my mom's going to get mad at me, if I don't do this. But it's been hard, but she's still a toddler, so I don't know what it's going to be like later when she develops her own attitude and more personality. So, which is why I'm glad I have friends that have other kids.
Witnesses.
So I can learn from them, because I know for sure I do not want the way our parents raised us. Maybe some sternness, but with disciplining, no. He's different, but I can't speak for him. But for me personally,
yeah, because there's two. My partner, we both have very different styles of parenting, and we have to meet in the middle. There's certain things we meet in the middle on, and certain things we just don't, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. It is what it is.
Yeah, like when, especially on the disciplining end, like I feel like I've found myself a little bit more on the sterner side of disciplining because I feel like just naturally personality wise, like Steph can easily be good cop and I can be bad cop because I like well, she's a little bit more, I'd say, gentle or graceful in terms of like the disciplinary actions, but I would just be like, actions have consequences.
Yeah.
Or what?
Is there a consequence?
Your consequence? Go bam, I'm gonna dance for son.
Oh my God.
10 rounds. 1 round for your
For every age?
Oh my God,
age.
you teach him his to smoke. Just in general,
He's
just
about
like,
to smoke.
like 10 to smoke, 11 to smoke, and then every year it's like a thing. Wow,
Yeah.
I'm starting young.
For those of you guys who don't know dancing, I'm not talking about smoking. It's like it's king of the hill, but we call it 7 to smoke or however many rounds it takes to win. So
For
just
battling in
for those of
dance.
you non-dancers.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about?
Parenting
What
styles.
was your parenting style?
Well, I mean, I'm more like our situation is a little bit weird. I find myself being more like the stern parent,
Mhm.
but the reason it's a strange, weird situation is because when it's just me and Nova by ourselves, she tends to be very obedient. So I feel like I don't have to be as stern because when it's just me and her, when I'm taking care of her, and mommy's at work or doing something, she tends to be very good, very, Then when, as opposed to when she's with the both of us, is when she starts to be a little bit more testing.
Oh yeah,
Well,
she tries to cross boundaries a lot right now.
I can explain that.
And then with that, it's just trying to find the balance when we're both there because she's like, more like a crystal where
Yeah.
you need a Nova, it's not nice to do this, or, just being very, and I'm just like, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With kids, so you say you're the stern and you're good cop, bad cop, basically, right? So she knows better. She knows better when she's with you, just you, because she knows she's gonna get that immediate action. But then with mom, there's a little wiggle room to test the boundaries. But that's natural to test the boundaries, and I don't want to use the term safe space, but it is. It's a safe. She knows that this is where she can stretch it out and just see how far she can go. Everyone tests their boundaries in different situations. So when kids are speaking out and like yelling or tantruming or expressing themselves, some people look at it as, okay, they feel very comfortable right now. They feel like they're not gonna feel guilty or bad or be told, hey, you can't do that. So it's a safe space to explore her emotions and her temperament and anything and everything in the world, and know that it's not going to be like stopped in its tracks immediately. Whether any of us think that's a good thing, bad thing, is life. We did it ourselves. We tested boundaries ourselves, not just with our parents, but with our friends, our teachers, our coworkers. We're even as adults, we're testing boundaries.
Yeah.
And as adults, we know who we can test boundaries with and who we can't test boundaries with. So it's natural. So what you're seeing, you're already seeing something in them that's just, this is what we do.
Yeah,
She knows.
I think
She's
I remember.
smart.
But you're going.
No, that's it.
Like I remember when I was going through parenting classes, like there's a phase in being taught in toddlers is the same as in teenagers. It's I think separation deviation kind of thing, where they're trying to find their own identity.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a small taste in how they may be as a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
and how they try to, because now they're especially in being when they're toddlers, they realize they're not an extension of you, that they're their own person, and they're going to push a lot of boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And then shows up again, and then how it doesn't mean how you show up here is going to be how you are, but it kind of gives you an idea of like, oh, this is what's happening, and they're in this stage.
Yeah, and I don't think that in them acting out is any indication that we're not doing something right. I see it all as positive. It's just indication that they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
They feel comfortable to openly express themselves, and if there's anywhere to feel comfortable to express yourself, it's got to be at home.
Yeah,
You know, but it's important to teach boundaries too. So like, let him express, but teach him like, hey, that's also not okay.
Yeah, Jordan expressed himself so well, he smacked the middle of my ears.
Oh no!
Move! I was like, you don't. I was ringing
Oh no!
because he was like hyped, you know, and you've seen how him and I get hyped. You've seen how I get hyped. With,
I've
like,
seen how you get hype in general.
Yeah.
Not with your son.
Yeah, well, because Jordan and I just like roughhouse a lot. So yeah, he was just trying it out.
He went for it. He's like, should I do it? Should I do it?
So,
Damn!
I guess my parenting style, because not it's just me and Jordan, I kind of let him explore a lot. I kind of try to introduce him a lot of different things. My main things, I want to keep him active, and like to make sure that the value of taking care of your body and trying to have him eat well. Yeah, because I tell him like, what's cardio for? It's good for the heart. What's strength training for? Good for the muscles. What's meditating for? It's good for the mind. That's what I've been trying to teach. It's a little hard to try to. It's different parenting styles. So, but yeah, like I'm trying. It's hard because I can't do that every day with him. But I try to instill it with him.
You gotta partner in with the co-parent.
Yeah, and then those are the main things I try to have some sort of learning or try to establish some sort of routine. Like when I do my best to have them journal. It's like, what are you grateful for? What do you like about yourself? And just have them write it out. Or like one of the things I want to, because I'm not that good fluent at Tagalog, we would do Rosetta Stone together just to try to because it's interactive and it's kind of like a game. So and then we were both learning together, and then we would both try to practice together.
Nice.
So,
That's
very nice.
So then other things are like again with the whole keeping your body active, taking him to a dance class just to have him explore. And it's not me because I think in third grade I was teaching his friends how to break, and he took it once, and he's just comfortable, like, yeah, Dad, let's goof off, like, let's run around. Like, no, he met instructor Dad that day.
Coach Dad.
Yeah. So and because with my class, like the biggest goofs, like I would have the students like set themselves and be ready, and the parents were like, how do you get the kids to be quiet? I just tell them, if you're not gonna listen, go to mom. I'm not your babysitter. I'll literally tell these kids that.
Dang, good though.
And then I would just say, I'll wait. And the kids would look at me.
Good.
And then they get themselves to be ready.
There you go.
It's different though.
Accountability. He's like, go to your. He's like, Dad, she's not over here.
That's why I'd much rather have someone else teach Jordan,
That's true.
because he knows me as being fun and all.
And they could try to call our bluff too. Like, I know you're not gonna do that.
So yeah, and then another one's like I want him to try different things, just like to try it. Like we did. I took him to a parkour class, and he loved it. And, So and it's fun, like and I take into account like his love language. I know he's definitely physical touch and definitely words of affirmation, because immediately when if he gets in trouble, like, I love you, Dad. He wants the affirmation of being, I still love you. And you're in trouble. Or if he's like, we're just hanging out, he'll just randomly have a wrist on me, just like that, and just.
Oh yeah. He would do that because when we'd have shows and I would hang out with him and Nora together, he would just walk, and what was it? He would like hold just like my thumb or something.
Yeah.
Like just one little something you just hold on to, and I'm like,
yeah, physical touch and words of affirmation or his love languages right now. So
one thing I noticed too that I'm being very cautious of with Nora at this age, now that she's into dance, she's noticing other girls in her class, and they might just be wearing like a half top, a sports bra, and she's noticing figures, and she's become very body conscious lately. So yeah, and I can't believe it's here. I'm so upset about it, but we've got it. We've tackled it. I've partnered with her dad, and we do not mention, like body fat percentage or anything like that. She wants to calm down. She does express that she wants to look a certain way in her outfits, and the way I put it is, you want your muscle to show. Like, if that's what you want, you need to do the crunches. We need to be able to see and feel the muscle. So that's what I tell her. And I'm like, nothing else matters. If the strength is what you want, then this is what we need to do. And so we've been doing like push-ups and crunches, and I squeeze my muscles and I go to feel her muscles. And that's what we're doing. And I'm
That's
just like,
awesome.
Yeah.
and I'm like, you can wear whatever you want to wear. Like, you don't have to have those rock hard abs showing, you know, but if that's what you want, then that's how we're going to get it. But we don't talk about like, oh, I'm, you know, I'm chubby or I'm fat or anything like that. I make sure even when I'm feeling it, like, I don't say it in front of her, you know, because as a dancer, like, I know. And it's work. Like, and I have to catch myself because now she's at that age. We don't realize when the transition comes, when they're quiet. We think they're off playing and minding their business, and really they're in a corner, like,
they hear
and they're just like,
conversation.
they're listening to everything, and they remember everything. They're little sponges. So when I first learned that, now I have to be very careful. And like, I'd catch her looking at herself in the mirror the way I look at myself. So I had to stop.
We need to change it up.
Yeah, it's
I'm constantly
happening.
calling her fat.
Oh no!
You're so fat. You're so fat.
Oh yeah.
You're so fat.
And I mean,
But it's like a Filipino thing. You're like, oh, you're so tough.
But that's the thing, though. Even though it's playful now, as adults, no one wants to be still like. It becomes a thing.
Yeah, and same for Nora. Like, I was not blessed with my mama's tuchus, but Nora was, and at her age, everybody knows. Like, you know, big. So I'd be like, look at that big old butt, you know. And I like, when she's little, I just always poke and be like, you got a big old butt, girl. And my whole family, we just say that, you know. And now, you know, she got to an age refined, and she's just like, she said it. She's like, don't say that. I don't have a big butt. She's like, you have a big butt. And I'm like, girl, I wish I had a big butt. I wish I had a big butt. But I leave it alone now, and I don't point it out because I'm like, oh my God, I don't want anything. I don't want her to feel embarrassed or
Something
negative.
about like